The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic.
Marko Mijuskovic is registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, and at Wells Fargo Partners, 677 Ala Moana Boulevard, Suite 720, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations.
And now your host, Marko Mijuskovic.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You are listening Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. right here at 760 KGU. Also online at HawaiiMoneyResource.com, HawaiiMoneyResource.com. Hawaii Money Resource been around since 2011, and what is it that we talk in our show? We talk about business. We are pro-business radio. And we like to interview our business owners, friends that are running the business and running the Hawaii. And we try to pick their brain for 1 hour and see what is going on in their mind, how they operate, how they're structuring the business, how they find the time for themselves, and much, much more. When we do not have a guest, we talk about business exit planning. We talk about a preparation of your business for potential future sales. So if you are a business owner or you would like to become one, this is the right radio show for you. Hawaii Money Resource online, HawaiiMoneyResource.com, HawaiiMoneyResource.com. So if you missed the show by any chance, you can go and check the podcast, see the pictures, and much, much more. For business owners and business resources when it comes to growing your business so you can exit your business in style, you should check us at businessexitplanninghawaii.com, businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Best place for resources when it comes to business exit planning, business valuation, asset protection, and estate planning, all that at one spot at businessexitplanninghawaii.com. If you have any questions, give us a call, 808-695-2102, 808-695-2102, and we are going to introduce our returning visitor and returning guest, Jason Cutinella, CEO of Nella Media Group. Jason, welcome back to Hawaii Money Resource.
It's good to be back, Marko.
Hold on. Let's say that one more time.
It's good to be back, Marko.
Okay, I think we're going to change the mic check. We're going to go to the different one. But Jason, you being here, I was just checking our database. You being here in our studio back in July 17, 2013, and you are back now. Well, I'm very excited. Also, it just shows us that we are getting old, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I can't believe it's almost been 4 years already.
Almost. And, Jason, there is a lot of good stuff and a lot of good changes in your business. Your business is thriving, is trying to capture this market in whole and in full. And I know that you are excited too, and I know that you are trying to get best for your business. But before we dive into that and you tell us everything, what's going on since 2013, July until now, let's remind our listeners about you. So who are you?
Well, I'm born and raised New Yorker. Been out in Hawaii for 13 years now. I moved out here in 2004 to attend grad school at HBU, and it was an interesting journey. I drove across country and bought a one-way ticket. I've never been to Hawaii, but I knew I wanted to get a fresh start from New York. I mean, New York was great to me. That's my home, and I love it. And I've been in the media industry since I was an intern in undergraduate school for a rather large ad agency to graduating undergrad and going over to working in marketing and publicity for Sony Music, to kind of getting laid off in 2002, and unfortunately 9/11, and the media industry was a little shaken up back then.
Took a dive.
And I was young, so I had nothing to lose. So I drove across country and flew to Hawaii.
That must be a journey on its own. And, now looking back in your decisions that you made as a young person, like, what do you think? Good choices, bad choices, could it be better? I'm not complaining. What is it?
Well, it's interesting. It was, you go through the mixed feelings. My first 3 years here was graduate school, bartending at Hard Rock Cafe, and throwing surf parties. So I wasn't complaining at all those first 3 years.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Good times.
And then after those 3 years, it's like, all right, what am I going to do?
Party was over.
Party was over, or the new parties had to start, right? The parties I was doing was time for an end. So I actually was thinking about moving to California. I didn't really want to go back to New York. I got really used to the climate out here. I liked the attitude of people. Knowing that I still have the New York blood, I was looking for my next chapter. So before I moved out of Hawaii, how could I stay here? So I really kind of looked at the landscape, kind of understanding what my background was in business. My graduate degree was in communications. My undergraduate was in marketing. And kind of looking at the kind of media landscape here in Hawaii and seeing it needed a refresh, is what I like to say. So long story short, worked for a local surf publication for 2 years. And then how great that was. I have great friends that are professional surfers. I knew that wasn't going to keep me here. It was only a super niche, and it was in Hawaii. So I really started looking at, well, how could I stay here? And the travel industry is a very lucrative business out here. So I started small, and January 2009, and now this is a little over 8 years later. I just kept cranking away, and when I first started Nella Media Group, it was I had an idea of what I want to do in the creative space, in the media space. But now I feel extremely focused on exactly what I need.
Now is a full-blown office, people, team. This publications going, flying around the world. I mean, it's like a movie, right?
Well, it's funny you say like a movie. I created my own life, right? And when you, as an entrepreneur, when you visualize what you want to create. And then when you start seeing it come to reality, I feel you no longer work. You actually don't have a job anymore. You need to get up and execute your vision and your plan. And if you can incorporate your passion to that,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
So before we take our first break, why don't you tell us about the Nella Media Group? What is it because it's evolving since you're starting to where is it right now? So why don't you tell us what is in Nella Media Group as is right now?
Nella Media Group is a travel media company. Our goal is to promote Hawaii to the world, and our tagline is, or we have many taglines, but one of them is promoting today's Hawaii. Being here for a long time now. And traveling around the world, there's a misperception of what Hawaii is. It's tikis, it's Waikiki Beach, it's hula, which is completely 100% the fact. But Honolulu is a emerging market. It's developing. It's got arts, culture, music. It has things that the rest of the world has, but nobody seems to know sometimes
about it. It's new and hip and stuff is happening.
Oh boy, it's happening.
Maybe not in the fastest pace, but it's happening and it's evolving.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's evolving rapidly, I feel. Being that I'm a guy from New York with New York blood, I like fast, right? Hawaii is, to me and all of my coworkers, one of the best destinations to come. We have. We might not be as big as New York City or San Francisco or L.A. or London or, other places around the world, but we have the culture like a lot of these other markets have, if not more, so.
And it's not just, everything was it's a synergy between different industries, different markets. There's a lot of good development coming up, a lot of good ideas behind it. There's some creative people are working, together or separate just to create that environment.
Exactly.
Am I right?
No, completely.
If you just look at the whole project of Kakako, downtown, Waikiki, everything is kind of working that synergy that, like you said, it's not only Tiki's and, Polynesian Culture Center and Waikiki Beach now is, it's more than that. Much larger. It's more than that.
It will be a very walkable city, Waikiki is merging into Kaka'ako. Kaka'ako is moving into downtown Chinatown. Mm-hmm. It's all becoming one. And that's where, if you accept that and you understand what Honolulu is, then you're really proud of it, And most of my team are, born and raised, people from Hawaii, and they're the ones spearheading the content. So, being a New Yorker, starting a media company here, having a love for Hawaii. The beautiful thing is all of our content creators are born and raised local, well, most of them.
How much, you mentioned being from New York more than a few times in speed, and we know that in New York nobody breathes. Everybody just walks. And if you stop, they're gonna run you over. How much did you shift gears from that environment to Hawaii environment, and did you?
So it's funny. So my first 5 years, I really took the time to understanding the culture. I didn't try to start a business. It took me 5 years to, downshift back into first gear and really kind of drive at about 10 miles per hour, kind of gauge, kind of observe my environment, really focused on graduate school and enjoying Hawaii what it is. I built friendships that are now family. And then once I started my business, I'm starting to shift up again at a New York speed with the understanding of the Hawaiian culture. If that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. So, good analogy.
Yeah, so I want to go into sixth gear, man.
Right. Turbo. Okay, perfect. Why don't we take our first break? Today's guest is Jason Cutinella, CEO of Nella Media Group. You can find him online, nellamediagroup.com, nellamediagroup.com. And if you go to their website, you can also find out the phone number. Give us a phone number. Let's see, 688-8349. Is that a good number to call if people... Perfect. 688-8349, nellamediagroup.com. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with Nella Media Group. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Why is everybody always picking on me?
That's him on his knees. I know that's him. Getting 7,11 down in the boys' gym. Charlie Brown.
760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Saving energy saves you money. Whether you switch to Energy Star light bulbs, install Energy Star appliances, or add extra insulation. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Did you know that 164,000 local people have chronic kidney disease and due to lack of screening may not even know it? Help the National Kidney Foundation as they work toward creating better awareness, prevention, and treatment for the 164,000 local folks dealing with CKD and the other 100,000 currently at risk. To make your donation of funding or possible kidney donation, please go to kidneyhi.org.
Aloha, Bart De Silva here. When's the last time you had the time of your life and at the same time helped save a life? Join the National Kidney Foundation for 2 trips of a lifetime. Cruise Alaska for 7 unforgettable days and nights, May 25th to June 2nd, 2017. Or embark on a 13-night fall foliage cruise of Japan, September 21st through October 5th, 2017. Both cruises help support the National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii. Call Ultimate Vacations at 949-8100 or go to ultimate-vacations.net.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try.
He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Marko Mijuskovic on AM 760. More than 4,000 other listeners tune in daily to hear Marko talk about investment strategies and his new area of expertise, business exit planning. If you're ready to take it to the next level, Mr. Mijuskovic invites you to attend one of his complimentary seminars. Each month, he offers a seminar for business owners interested in business exit planning. For everybody else, he offers a second seminar on investment strategies. Either way, you'll get such a wealth of information that I'm going to attend one right now. For information on how you can attend, visit HawaiiMoneyResource.com. The lawyers can take it from here.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, 1-888-600-4667. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Wealth Strategy Partners, LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. 2014-16224, expiration 1/2017.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, exclusively 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., right in a drive time when you're stuck in traffic going home. You can tune in at 7:60 a.m. and you can hear the stories of Honolulu, Hawaii business owners sharing their stories, sharing how they started. How did they go through their life as entrepreneur, business owner, and how did they get where they're at right now? Today's guest is actually our returning guest and good friend of mine, Jason Cutinella, CEO of Nella Media Group. I know Jason for quite a few years, back from HPU days. And Jason is running very hip, outgoing, exciting company, Nella Media Group. And Jason, you were here back in 2013, and the time just flies. You actually look younger than this picture that we took in 2000. And I probably look 30 pounds or 20 pounds lighter now than I was.
I actually lost weight too.
Yeah, so that's why we look younger, both of us. Talking about early beginning, talking about you coming from New York to finish your graduate school, buying one-way ticket to Hawaii, staying in Hawaii, trying to absorb the market before you started your own business. You actually spent 5 years pretty much not going for your own business, but working in the industry, trying to learn as much as you can. And then in 2008, you said? Nine. Nella Media Group opened their doors. Of course, Nella... of course, it's cutting short your last name. That's how the Nella started. I guess that's where the name came.
Yeah, it's a funny story about that. It was. Why
don't you say
it was quick.
Tell us.
You know, so in 2008, I was throwing these surf parties, and Quicksilver. That was a plug. They should advertise with me. But
of course.
No, but a bigger brand wanted a sponsor. I don't even know if that was the actual brand, but a bigger brand wanted to sponsor my party, and they wanted to write a check to the company. And I didn't have a company formed. So I literally created an LLC so they could write a check.
During the party.
So I didn't look like, hey, write it to Jason Cutinella. So yeah, there was a vision. There was a thought that I was going to do this business, but that's how the name came up instantly. And then
spontaneously during the party.
Yeah, one of my good friends did the logo overnight, and I had a little.
So hold on, they wrote a check, and the next morning you went online and registered Nella Media Group.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is a funny story. I like that. So Nella Media Group started in 2009, overnight. But with a lot of preparation and growing since 2008, Let's just walk our listeners from the day when you started, because 2008, 2009, those were tough years, especially
crazy.
For publications or media companies, right?
Oh, yeah. Imagine starting a media company, focusing, first project was a newspaper. So I live in Chinatown. I work in Chinatown. I've been a part of Chinatown HBU days for 13 years. I love it. It's my little mini New York, right? But nice weather all the time. But I started with a paper called Chinatown Newspaper because I thought there was a void. I mean, there's the daily paper, and then there was the weekly paper. But I saw that downtown Chinatown was going to emerge into something way beyond what it was in 2008, 9. So I started that. I knew that wasn't going to be the lifeblood of the company. So, and the beautiful thing of starting a company in a recession is you only could go up if you produce quality. As I always tell an entrepreneur, they're like, you started a print business in 2008, 9 in the recession? What are you thinking? I go, well, if you produce quality and something that somebody wants, that's the best time to start a business, because I've only seen growth.
Everything is open too, right? Competition is probably less. Some people are gone.
Yep, and it only went up. Yep.
For you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I started with a paper, with an idea, kind of got a client really quick, which was one of my partners now. He worked at an airline in 2009. Simple question. We were doing some creative work for him. He was sponsoring my parties, and I said, who's doing your magazine? He goes, well, request for proposals out there. Would you like an opportunity? I said, of course. Long story short, we acquired that magazine from a competitive publishing company. We took that in-flight magazine and turned it into an award-winning magazine within the first 6 months. So this is one of my partners that was a client at the time. That same time, I met my other partner, Lisa Yamada, which started Flux Hawaii magazine. Local girl, just moved back from the mainland from school. She's got the editorial journalism background. She wanted to get the story out there of the way she interpreted Hawaii. We kind of hung out for about a year, kind of helped each other, supported each other. I kind of told her the bigger vision on Nella Media Group, on who we are, where I wanted to go. We formed forces quickly, and then we went from a newspaper to an in-flight magazine to Flux Hawaii magazine, to having that third partner, Joe Bach, which was our client at the airline. I'm just fast forwarding to how it
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, how it worked. And then Joe went over to the hotel world. We started getting into the hotel space, and then we had a fourth publication that was for hotels. All right. So we had the newspaper, we had an in-flight magazine, we had Flux Hawaii, and then we had this hotel book. And then that went from 4 publications to asking Joe, hey, why don't you come on over and kind of head up some operations, legalities, HR. We call him the suit, it's his background, right? So we formed forces rather quickly. This is within like 3 or 4 years of all working together. We were working together. Me and Lisa were partners, and then Joe came on, and we all became partners. And then we kept growing the company to where we are now. And then as we grew this company, we just keep getting more focused and focused. So when I was here in 2013, I was doing whatever it took to keep the lights on, right? I was doing creative work. I was doing this. I was doing that. I was throwing parties still. Now, where we're at today is I feel we're hyper-focused, and there's no media company that's super focused in travel. I could honestly say, not because it's my company, is I feel we are the leading travel marketing publisher and media company in the state of Hawaii, and we will grow beyond our current form of media.
So let me ask you this, was this just evolution and a natural progression for you, and you just go with the flow, and then as you're going through the flow, new opportunity arise, and you were just seizing those opportunities? Or was there a bigger plan behind it?
There was always a bigger plan. The plan was always to create media, and media could be multiple things. It could be an agency and do creative work. We could be a communications company and PR. I mean, the background between all of us is very similar. Publishing kind of kept falling in our lap because the quality of content and design we produced, that's where we started growing rapidly. But if you asked me 8 years ago, was I going to get into publishing business, I probably would have said no way, all right? But I saw it after about 3-4 years, I saw a path of this publishing which led to multiple partners to the top in the state. I mean, we are very humble, but we are also very proud to be working with clients such as the Halekulani Hotel, and we're doing their in-room book. We're going to grow it well beyond an in-room book at some point, to the point of working with the McNaughton Kobayashi Group, making them a unique publication just for their residents, to Starwood Hawaii, to the Marriott, to the Hyatt, to Island Air, to Mokulele Airlines, all of these beautiful partners, to also having our own 2 lifebloods, I like to call them. We have Flux Hawaii, which was in the beginning just for the local audience. Now it's distributed around the world. We're promoting Hawaii, outside through our non-partner publication, which has a strong subscription base, to our other publication called Lay, which is an LGBT travel publication. So we have those 2 lifebloods of, I feel like, what our personalities are at Nella Media Group. But what we really like to do as well is work with our partners, because our partners actually read a Flux or a Lay, but then we're able and we have the opportunity to create something unique for them, which it makes it special for their demo, for the people that are part of them.
So out of bringing the new publications on board, from your experience, how many publications you need to go through to develop one bloodline? Like you say, you have 2 right now. That's your kind of foundations that you've been doing for a while, and it's what we call cash cow, right? Well,
it's interesting. Well, the blood is the content. So Flux and Lay is not necessarily cash cow. Those are the things that keep us sane. We didn't want to get in business just to produce partner publications. We love it, we understand it, and we're very proud and honored to be partners with them, but we needed our own, lifeblood of, keeping us creative. If we just did partner work, then we would just be an agency doing
Okay, so explain it to our listeners what you just said, because there is your publications and there is partner publications, and I guess on a partner one, you're trying to accomplish what partner goals are, versus your own one is you are putting the goals up there, and you are creating the content.
Our partner, let's use publications for now. Our partner publication is making sure we really, truly understand the message that they're trying to give, whether it's a hotel to their guest. If it's an airline, it's to their passenger. So we work closely with our partners to ensure that the publication we create for them is them.
It's a message. Voice. It's their message.
It's their message. And where we have our own publications, it's our message, right? The beautiful thing with our partners and our non-partner publications is we find partners that have similar messages, similar interests. We're very fortunate to say I want to say all of our partners have similar interests, similar styles, similar ways of doing business. That's what's so unique.
Is this because of you, or is it because just happened like that?
I think it's all the whole company. I think on the partner level, we really make sure the partners we work with that we're going to enjoy working with them. We have a similar understanding, so it's a company as a whole. I might want to do something, but the majority might not want. I never would want to force their hand. We've had to do that in the past to keep the lights on, right? At this point in the business, getting back to what we said earlier, we need to all wake up and go to work and have a passion for it.
And enjoy it.
Okay,
so now talking because you are in really, I'll call it very tough industry.
Oh yeah, super competitive.
Very competitive, and nothing is guaranteed. No contract, you can rely on for more than 1, 2, 3 seasons. I don't even know, right? So how do you now at this point pick and choose, like you said earlier, you do to a certain extent, or is it possible to do that? Is it possible for you to really pick and choose who you want to work with?
Yes, and I want to say yes. My role, in which I worked very hard, I feel, to get to this point, is to envision and see the vision that we've had as a company for the past 8 years. My current role is growth, and where we agree. You were right earlier, where partnerships come and they go, and that's part of that world, right? Our goal is to hang out with our partners as long as we're doing our specialty, and we produce the best for them. We want to be partners with them forever.
And just for our listener to make a clarification between you, Joe, and Lisa as a partners, and your partners in the business, the partners that you're developing the publications for, because it's both called partners. So I don't want people to get confused.
I'll start calling them business partners and client partners.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a little break? Today's guest is Jason Cutinella, CEO, Nella Media Group. You can find him online, nellamediagroup.com, nellamediagroup.com. Great website. Also, you're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. Let's take our second break, and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Burger King presents Breakfast Stories. Here's Pete, Tony, and the 2 for $5 croissant deal.
The other day, Pete and I go to Burger King for my croissant. They're just 2 for $5.
Oh, it's my favorite. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so I got 2 croissant, and I get one to this guy.
I'm like, who are you?
I'm the guy that just paid for your breakfast.
That's my favorite guy.
You guys. The croissant deal is 2 for $5. Now made with 100% butter for a soft and flaky croissant. Get 2 croissant sandwiches now for $5 only at Burger King. Price and participation vary.
It's time for some straight talk. The big wireless companies charge a boatload for their superior network coverage. But guess what? Straight Talk uses the same cell towers, but you pay half the cost. Who knew? Well, now you do. And I do. So let's do something. It's time to switch to Straight Talk. Unlimited plans start at just $45 a month on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the Hawaii Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Nella Media of Hawaii proudly supports the community around us.
The Hawaii State Department of Health reminds you to fight the bite and don't let mosquitoes get the best of you. Do some good and fight the bite in your neighborhood by fixing leaking faucets and screen doors. Remove standing water from your patios and yards. For more tips on how to do some good and fight the bite in your neighborhood, visit fightthebitehawaii.com.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource exclusively every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can find us online as well at hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. If you miss our show by any chance, you can now download the podcast not only at hawaiimoneyresource.com, but also at businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Businessexitplanninghawaii.com is for the business owners that are looking to eventually get out of the business one day in the future and leave their business in style, paying the minimum taxes to the IRS and pocketing the most for themselves. Okay, perfect. So let's go back to our guest. This is our returning guest, Jason Cutinella, CEO of Nella Media Group. Last time he was here, 20 pounds ago, 4 years ago, back in July of 2013. Business was relatively young, only 4 years into it. Now we are at 8-year mark. So Jason, looking back in 2013 and going now to 2017, what's different?
Our client level, our client partners. We've always strived to have the partners we have today, so it's very humbling to actually see them come to fruition.
Team is bigger.
Team is huge, for me. Like we're up to about with the partners of about 15 total and growing. It was a lot smaller back then.
Have a nice space in Chinatown.
Got a good creative space, which I feel is very important in today's world. Workspace is, once again, that word work is interesting to me. I mean, you must work, everybody, all right? But
define the work.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the work, right?
So if you're gonna, if you have the opportunity to ever get a chance to work with Nella Media Group, we try to supply the most relaxing, unique kind of environment. It's very open floor plan. It's right in the heart of Chinatown. It's right next. It's above all the restaurants. It's just a good place. It's a good environment. I mean, you don't mind going to work, and you get to see everybody. It's not like nobody has an office.
Right. There's no cubicles. It's open panel. It's like everybody can see each other. I mean, it's just modern look for modern outgoing company.
Yeah, exactly.
So Nella Media Group, let's talk a business right now. So now it's still a business, right? Yeah. It's a still business. You have your creative part, and everybody in the company is, creative on their own unique way. But you still have a business to run. You still need to look at you, Joe, Lisa. You still need to have a monthly or weekly or bi-weekly meetings as a partners. You still need to look at your P&L statements. Yep. You need to go to the buy and sell agreements. You need to do what you need to do, right? Because
you've been helping with that. Thank you.
I know. But you still need to do what the business needs to do to properly be set up, because eventually you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully all the good stuff is, opportunities are coming online. And let's talk about it, and why we're seeing more, and I see in my business, you see in your business, why you think that we're seeing lately more and more opportunities for growth, expansion, and just seizing up the more market share.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, if you currently look down at Nella Media Group and you don't really know much about us, right? You see a very traditional media publishing company. We do very, typical things like publishing companies been doing for 50, 60 years. Our content might be a little more fresher and unique, but that was never my goal to just create a publishing. It was a media company and produce content and find distribution outlets, right? So the evolution of the company will be well beyond the print format. I do think there's there's a trend right now of print publications can be very valuable if you really make sure your distribution is really targeted, right? There's a tangible good to a print publication, and you're actually seeing a lot of bigger brands, and you could use Red Bull, for example. Red Bull is a humongous brand, not only for their energy drink, but their media house, all right? They have television, they have a strong online presence, and you know what they also have that was introduced later in the game? A magazine, all right? Because when you're a fan of a brand, if you have all these different extensions, print can be a hard part of that, a very important part of that. But what we did at Nella Media Group, being that the market we're in, I was able to get in through the print market. So now you will see in the next year, 2, 3 years, the evolution of where Nella Media Group is going with many different outlets of media. And that's not just I don't like just to use the word digital, all right? Because that could be taken in many different ways. It's really looking at and seeing where the trends are of how to distribute your content, whether it's online, television, through your social media, video content. There's so many things, right? But the most important thing in any business, and I think people forget of this, is building the unique team that surrounds you and building relationships and client partners and things that you could build the loyalty and trust. And especially in Hawaii, you just don't get business overnight. You have to work towards it. You have to build strong relationships, and then you got to build trust. So when you are capable of growing with that company, they already trust you.
Did you? I absolutely agree with what you just said. And in Hawaii especially, you need to put some work and effort before you cross that line, and then when the business start coming to you. Did you cross that line?
Yeah, I feel like we hit that halfway around the track. Now it's time to grow up. Our heads have been down for 8 years. We were in startup mode, right? We were growing. We were just doing what it took. We worked hard. We became an award-winning company. We did all the things that you were supposed to do. Now I feel like it's the beginning again. But now we're grown-ups, and now it's time to elevate.
You kind of graduated from undergraduate, going masters now.
Yeah, we're going. It's master's time. Yeah,
master's time.
Yeah,
perfect. And let's talk about content for a moment, because you mentioned the content, and you have your 2 publications that are driving your own personal content. What is the message that you are trying to? What is the underlying message that you try to push through, and where is the message get inspiration from?
Well, it goes. Let's just use Hawaii. And maybe we could talk about this later, but the vision of Nella Media Group from day one was to be a global company, right? But realizing where we are, that doesn't mean you really need to have media outlets or content all over the world. It comes down to distribution, right? We could be a global company only talking about Hawaii, right? But to answer your question, and we went through different shifts, right? But to really answer your question, our goal is to really, once again, educate people on today's Hawaii, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like what is the content message?
The content, it's beautiful that we have a strong local following of our brands. But the really nice thing is when you get emails from the guests that stay at one of our hotel partners, or somebody that's traveling on one of our airline partners, or when somebody picks Flux Hawaii up in New York, or L.A., or somebody picks up Lay in Palm Springs or Miami, and they go, "Hey, I saw your publications, and I had no idea that Hawaii had such unique people, entrepreneurs, culture, and arts." Once again, I think people try to explore that in regards to their content, but that's what we own, and that's what we zone in on. So, and it's kind of the blood.
So, Nella Media Group is in very competitive, and I'm repeating this because I mentioned it in previous segment, very competitive, really strong, cutthroat industry.
Very.
What do you see, first of all, where this whole industry is moving, and what do you see as a threat for you and your company, and where you see the opportunity?
Well, if we constantly stay innovative and kind of look at the future, content is going nowhere. People are trying to produce content on a daily basis, right? They spend a lot of money. Brands are hiring people to produce content. And you know what? I understand that, and I respect it, and it's very much needed. But I feel when you have an internal content team, meaning in-house, that's when the true content is really being told. The story is really being told. So the only threat is becoming not the best, right? Not the most innovative, not the one that's bringing and going into the future. In the media field, there's always a threat. It is probably one of the most competitive industries in the world. Everybody, think of it. Facebook's a media company. Instagram's a media company. We're all media companies. We just have a different form of content. Right? We specialize on telling true, genuine stories about people and places and diving deep. People say, "Hey, are you a guidebook?" No, we're not. That's very digital. If you want to find the 10 places to eat, anywhere you land in the world, you're going to open your phone and you're going to have Yelp, right? But Yelp, even if they try, they don't give you this true story on the chef that was a Michelin star chef or had a food truck, right? They're trying to. You're seeing a chef doing that, right? But you go to certain mediums for certain things, where I think when people pick up our media, it really goes deep into, the story behind the story.
What do you think as a roadblock between you becoming the global company and getting out of Hawaii? Because do you think that maybe Hawaii is going to become a small of a market for Nella Media Group eventually?
Well, first off, I never want to leave Hawaii. I would make that clear. This is home. I mean, headquarters. When I say global, it's making sure, there's two sides of that. Global meaning making sure we could promote Hawaii on a global scale. And then there's the side of, the competitive side of me, my competitors and what are they doing? I have my local competitors and then I have my global competitors. And a vision of mine or a goal of mine was always to kind of threaten my global partners. So to scale outside of Hawaii is of extreme interest. You'll be seeing that within this year. And it's just a little test, right? It's a little experiment for me personally and the company. Because once that is accomplished, now my competitor, my global competitor, is going to go, wow. Because what we've done to our global competitor in the state of Hawaii is tremendous. So if I could kind of threaten the global market beyond Hawaii, then my company becomes valuable, more valuable, right? And it's self-interest. I love travel, right? I want to not only be able to travel the world doing business, because business is passion and whatever that word work is, but I would love to give my coworkers the opportunity to do the same in all places we're interested in. All right, so that's another thing. I'm not going to scale the business to a point where it's just because it might make good financial sense. It's self-interest too. We live in Hawaii, so if I had to scale the business and I had all the capital in the world to do it, New Zealand, Tahiti, Australia, Bali, Southeast Asia, Korea, Japan, all these places in the Pacific Rim that are beautiful. Pacific Northwest, strong interest in a lot of people in Hawaii. You see a connection to the Seattles, the Portland. These are markets that are becoming more affluential. It's not so much interest in New York or Miami or LA. It's all those other markets that aren't being tapped.
So last question before we take a break. Does Nella Media Group looking for any strategic partnerships beyond Hawaii, or that's maybe...
We're always looking for strategic partners. I'm always, if you get to know me, which you do, but if you don't know me, partnership's a big part of who I am. I'm not afraid to sit in a room with my competitor and see if there's any sort of strategic partnership. And if there is, great, let's pursue it. If there's not, that's okay. We both go back and do our thing. So I'm always looking for partners, every day.
Perfect. Why don't we take our last break? Today's guest is Jason Cutinella, CEO Nella Media Group. You can find him online, nellamediagroup.com, or you can go to downtown, their location and office. And I'm going to tell you the address, 36 North Hotel Street, Suite A, 688-8349, 688-8349, Nella Media Group. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. We're going to take our last break. Once we come back, we're going to ask Jason a couple of questions, and that will be it for today. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
The National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii and Windward Ford and Kailua want to put you in the driver's seat in a brand new 2015 Ford C-Max Hybrid, valued at $26,000. Place your winning bid beginning Monday, January 16th to Friday, January 27th at hawaiisalem.com. Just click on the kidney car banner and start bidding, and you could be driving a brand new Ford C-Max Hybrid from Windward Ford and Kailua and the National Kidney Foundation of Hawaii.
We all want to retire someday, but how will we afford it? Marko Mijuskovic here, financial advisor for Wealth Strategy Partners. Times are tough, but nothing brings comfort and security like having a financial strategy. Some financial strategies can be complicated. All those numbers and percentage points. It makes your head spin. But that's why I created an easier to understand system called Retirement Income Timeline. Let me analyze your situation using my Retirement Income Timeline, and I'll show you how you may be able to turn your money worries of today into a stress-free retirement of tomorrow. It's easy. Just call me and I'll assist you. Get your personal retirement income timeline by me, Marko Mijuskovic, today. Call 695-2102, 695-2102.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004. Securities products or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. PAS is a member FINRA SIPC.
Achieving personal financial success can be complicated. Marko Mijuskovic can make it simpler. That's something very good to know in a world where the wrong financial decisions can be all too costly. Marko Mijuskovic, Vice President of Wealth Strategy Partners, has been helping people in Hawaii successfully organize and plan their finances for years. Marko uses an holistic approach to help you balance your current financial obligations as well as your future concerns. And he does this while keeping things simple. Organizing your finances is serious business, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Find out how Marko can help you make smart, informed decisions about your financial future. Call him and schedule your complimentary session and tell him your story. He's there to listen. The toll-free number to call is 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102. 877-695-2102. Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner of Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. Don't forget, check our website for business owners that would like to get out of the business and sell the business one day in the future. BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, and much, much more if you go to that website. Let's go back to our guest today. Let's don't waste time. We have like a few minutes left for today's show. Jason Cutinella, CEO, Nella Media Group. Jason, I'm really glad that you're back. And today's story, comparing to our story back in 2013 when we did our first interview, is way more mature. If that's the right word, it's more mature. You can see that you crossed that line where the business is in a growth mode. Maybe not cross the growth mode, but startup. And now you're at the level when you are working actually on the business. Yeah. And I know that you're doing that because I've been part of a few meetings, and I know that the growth is happening, the opportunities are happening. This is the time when you guys can pick and choose where you want to go. So where you want to go? What's your short-term, 3 to 5 years goal?
Keep narrowing in and focus. A lot more. Keep focusing in. And ensuring that we will be the leader in the travel space, building on our current client partners, extending beyond print, just being smart about everything now, and we'll see where that leads us. Short term is building a little more on the team. We need a few people, and we're currently hiring. Once again, the new partners that client partners that we do get, making sure that the quality level is good as all the partners that we've had. We never want to lose that.
Second question for today is, what is your exit strategy?
Great question. Talking to the right guy. As an entrepreneur, there's always an exit strat. At least you should.
Idea.
Yeah, you should have one. That's a tough one because when you really love what you do, you want to grow it. But I also know as an entrepreneur and majoring and getting my degrees in business, you have to think that way. Whether it's a personal exit or it's a company exit. So I guess to answer that question, there's a thought. It's continuing to build the story that becomes valuable. Right, it's like a chess game of sorts.
Positioning the little pawns in the right positions.
Yeah. So when we do have the conversations with those possible partnerships, or somebody, when we cross that bridge, we're ready to have that conversation. We're both staring at each other.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know you will. Last question. We have like 30 seconds for a new young person that maybe look at yourself back in 2005. What will be the word of wisdom if they want to start a business?
You better starting my business?
No, any business.
Passion, man. I live and breathe off of that word passion. If you don't have passion and you're going to start a business, you might as well not even try. That's it. You have to have passion in what you do. It's as simple as that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you so much for being guest at Hawaii Money Resource.
My pleasure, and thank you, Marko.
Jason Cutinella, CEO, Nella Media Group, nellamediagroup.com. You can visit them online. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner, Wealth Strategy Partner, Certified Exit Planner. Another great story with a business entrepreneur. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The Living Balance Sheet and the Living Balance Sheet logo are registered service marks of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. The graphics and text used herein are the exclusive property of Guardian and protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Copyright 2005 to 2011. The Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations. Marko Mijuskovic is a registered representative and financial advisor for Park Avenue Securities, LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products, services, and advisory services are offered through Park Avenue Securities, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. Financial representative, the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Wealth Strategy Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Park Avenue Securities is a member FINRA SIPC.